Okay. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. My name is Susana Peredo Swap. I am the founder of Vanguard Culture. We're a nonprofit that works to advance San Diego's creative industries. And we do all kinds of things. The thing that you're here for is for our Envision Urban Art Takeover. I'll tell you a little bit about Vanguard Culture just to give you a sense of our background. We produce uh, award-winning arts journalism. So we've won 45 awards for excellence in journalism from the San Diego Press Club. We are receiving 8 to 10,000 hits a month on our website. We have about 20,000 subscribers now. And we are all about bringing attention and highlighting the virtuosity of San Diego's creative sector. The second thing that we do is professional development for creatives. And so we have workshops, panel discussions, all sorts of wonderful resources to help creatives make a living doing what they love. So we partner with organizations to teach people how to do their taxes, how to market and brand themselves, how to financial management for creatives, how to use the resources available to make a living doing the thing that you love. So if any of this information is interesting to you and you want to follow us, I recommend that you visit our website, vanguardculture.org, and sign up to our newsletter and let us know that you are a creative professional. There is a button there that we ask, are you a creative professional? So please go ahead and subscribe to that. Okay, so we are here for the performing arts portion of our open call for artists for Envision Urban Art Takeover. I'm going to go through the open call with you. I'm also going to introduce you to our curatorial committee. So Envision is a one-of-a-kind visual and performing arts festival. This event is taking place in the Logan Heights community of San Diego on September 2nd this year from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Envision aims to spark increased cultural tourism and to highlight the virtuosity of our creative sector. So we expect about 5,000 or so design professionals, art patrons, and other culture seekers from both San Diego and Tijuana to attend. This project will invigorate the commercial street corridor with inclusive and diverse multisensory art interventions ranging from video art to contemporary dance, live music, theater, puppetry, spoken word, short film screenings, full-scale art installations, and more. The Envision Festival will return in 2024 for an audience of thousands of design professionals and culture seekers from the region and from around the world. And I'll tell you more about that later. So I'm going to first introduce you to our curatorial committee so that you have a sense of who will be reviewing your project. So we have two sets of curators, two teams. The first one is the visual arts curators, and I'll just share them with you for your reference. They are also going to be a part of the conversation, even though this is a performing arts focused workshop here. But these are the curators who work in the visual arts with us. We have Tatiana Cizanenko. She's a independent curator and historian, highly knowledgeable woman. She serves on our board of directors. Keith Fox is a retired museum director and arts and culture professional. Linda Caballero Sotelo is the chief curator of the New Americans Museum. She's a business leader, and she's the former director of Insight, which was a bi-national urban art takeover project that won much national acclaim. Adriana Martinez is based in Mexico City. She's a curator, director. Her focus is on feminist and queer theory, and she's a cultural activist. Andrew Oot is the executive director of the Institute of Contemporary Art San Diego. Arturo Rodriguez is the founder of La Caja Galeria in Tijuana and also a cultural innovator, a brilliant man. And Carmen Zella, she's an award-winning public art curator and producer, founder and chief curator of Now Art. They are the folks who produce a huge video art festival in downtown LA each year, which brings in thousands and thousands of people for cultural tourism. Tatiana, Heath, Linda, and Adriana are on our board of directors, and Arturo is on our advisory board. So that's the visual art curators. I'll share with you the performing arts curators. I'm serving on the curatorial committee for the performing arts. I do have a background in visual arts, and I feel very comfortable in that space. However, I can't be two people at the same time. So I'm going to focus on the performing arts because that is my background. I am a theater professional. I've studied at the Royal National Theatre in London. I taught at the Old Globe here in San Diego. I've been in many musicals and shows and all that here in San Diego. And I'm a jazz vocalist. So I had a band and we performed all over downtown San Diego for many years. So that is my space. That's my love and my passion is the performing arts. So I'm the director of our board. Tom Dancy is a nonprofit leader, choreographer, managing director of the Rosenbach's Project, which is a contemporary ballet company here in town. If you don't know them yet, go check them out. They're amazing. Candace Crystal is an actor, director, theater, film producer, podcaster, creator of the Theater Alliance's Roundtable series. So she's highly connected to all the theaters in town. John Malishak, Emmy Award-winning choreographer, producer, founder, and artistic director of Malishak Dance Company, and Marilu Salinas, Malu. She is a Tijuana and San Diego-based multimedia artist, musician, composer, and producer, and a brilliant human. So myself is a part of the organization. Tom Dancy, Candace, and John are on our advisory board. And I believe that Tom might be joining us here today if he's not here already. Okay, so I wanted you to meet the curatorial team. Now let's take a look at the venues so that you would be engaging with. And I think this is a really important part of the process to give you a sense of the spaces that we're going to be transforming. The spaces are industrial, urban, completely, funky and not designed for performing arts. In any way, but that's what's going to make it wonderful. And so I'm going to go through this with you here. This is the corridor that we're going to be engaging with. It is the Commercial Street corridor. So if you are familiar with the 32nd and Commercial Street trolley stop, that's where our festival begins. So we'll have more images of that later. Here's the 32nd Street trolley. Right on this corner, a brewery is opening up. It's called Little Miss. So if you're familiar with Little Miss Brewery, they're starting here. And so we're engaging all along this corridor here. We're closing this street. And then we're also closing this street. And then there's the soap factory and the adjacent property, which we'll talk about in a second. These are the types of experiences that you can expect will take place along this corridor. We have opera, puppetry, live theater, interactive contemporary art exhibits, dance performances along the trolley line. Actually, we're working with San Diego Dance Theater, who produce the yearly trolley dances. And if you're familiar with them, they're going to be activating the trolley line all along the trolley line all the way down to the border, specifically focusing on spaces that on trolley stops that have big parking lots, because we want to encourage the use of public transportation. What an incredible opportunity that this is that we want to highlight the fact that this is on a trolley line. So it's such an incredible opportunity. We don't want to miss out on that. There will be food and drink vendors, and we'll talk a little bit more about them. Augmented reality experiences. There's a wonderful opportunity there for you. Short film screenings, video art projections, and more. So we'll begin with 2929 Commercial. This is brand new. They just acquired the property. And I want to tell you, actually, before we get into it, I want you to know who the players are. So this is our sponsorship packet for anybody who's interested or knows someone who's interested in sponsoring an artist. They could sponsor you and get visibility at the festival. Oh gosh, sorry, I had my partners. Where? Oh, here they are. Sorry about that. So here's our strategic partners. Many of you know that San Diego and Tijuana were recently designated World Design Capital. If you don't know this, it's a humongous deal for the region. So it's the first binational designation in the history of World Design Capital celebrations, and it's the first American city to receive the designation. It took a decade of work to put that project together and to receive the nomination, and we won. And so in 2024, there will be a series of design-focused, human-centered design-focused engagements all along for the entire year. Literally every day of the year, there's going to be something happening related to World Design Capital in 2024. We are partnering with World Design Capital as a strategic partner in 2023 for this version, and our hope is that it comes back as a part of the main program for 2024. And so they are supporting us by bringing increased visibility to the project, aligning us with strategic with stakeholders that will help enhance the program. And also there will be a beautiful video and photography digital capture of this festival and all of the creative community involved that will be used as a sizzle reel to help promote San Diego as a cultural destination leading up to 2024. So you definitely want to be a part of that sizzle reel. Our second strategic partner is CoPlace. CoPlace is a group of visionary real estate, finance, architecture gurus who own several properties along this corridor. And their mission and their goal is to transform this corridor into an arts district. And they've already started little by little by bringing in cultural partners to engage in all of those properties. We are one of those people. And so they're allowing us to use their properties for this festival. Now Art is a wonderful organization that I mentioned earlier that produces a huge video art festival in downtown LA called Luminex. So you definitely want to follow them. They're incredible. And then we're partnering with Hoverlay, which is an augmented reality platform. It's designed to bring augmented reality to the masses. And so it's super user-friendly. It's a very engaging platform. And so any creatives, visual or performing artists who participate in this festival will get complimentary access to this app and 8 engagements of augmented reality layers that they want to add to their performance or to their visual art installation or whatever, and support by their team. So huge opportunity here to create something really innovative. I mentioned to you that we're partnering with San Diego Dance Theater, who's going to be activating the trolley line. We're also working with Art Walk San Diego, who's going to be doing a chalk walk, a walkway of chalk artists along the corridor. We're partnering with Westward Entertainment, who are festival producers. They produce humongous festivals, like hundreds of thousands of people. We are expecting 5,000 or maybe 8,000 people for this first year round. And so they're going to be working with us on the logistics. They're going to be working with us to produce the food and beverage component of the festival. And then lastly, we're partnering with Everon Media, who is an award-winning film and corporate production company. It's a woman-owned business that will lead the digital capture of the festival by curating an exciting lineup of talented photographers and videographers from across the county and all of that content will be available for your use, for your marketing needs, for your support. So it's an added perk of participating in the festival. Okay, so now let's get back to the venues. So these are the properties, the CoPlace properties that I mentioned earlier. This is the newly acquired property that literally just happened a couple of weeks ago. So we're so excited that we have even more space that we can engage with. So as you can see, these are just like old factories and old urban spaces. I don't even know what this used to be, some kind of shipping space. But this is a wonderful opportunity here. As you can see, we have way more opportunity for dance performances, mini art installations, all sorts of engagements. The soap factory is the property just adjacent to that. And so I want to give you a little video walkthrough of that. But just so you know, this is that first street that we are closing. So there will be activity here as well, an opportunity for performances here or video art projections onto this wall, for example. A huge plot of land here where we can activate with more performances or art installations. This page lives on our website, and Juliana can text it in the group chat right now so that you guys all have it available to you. If you click here, there's a 3D walkthrough of the soap factory. So I'll take you through that walkthrough very briefly. Okay, so this is the soap factory in Logan Heights. It is one of the raddest spaces I've ever been in. It's an actual soap factory. So you'll walk in and it smells delicious. So there's the interior space in here. And then if you walk out this door here, you'll see that there is this huge sort of airplane hangar type space outside. And right now this has evolved a little bit. So this whole back area now is covered and it's a stage. So there's a performing arts stage right there. If you look over to the right here, this wall will be coming down, and it connects to that big plot of land that I just showed you earlier, and I'll bring it up again so that you can see that. So wonderful opportunity there for performances. This is that plot of land that I mentioned that's attached there, right? The next location is a screen printing design studio, and you'll find it by seeing this mural that's just outside of it. So if you're going down Commercial Street and you see this mural, this is the space. Right now it's currently filled with a screen printing equipment and all the things, but they're very excited to be working with us. This is one of the spaces that I'm most excited about for performing arts in particular. As you can see, so this is the street that is just beside it. And this little patio area facing out, it faces out into the street. So and it's elevated, it's about 4 feet elevated. So, and similarly, here is a loading dock and here is a loading dock. So if you're facing the street, I mean, if you're facing the building, if you're standing in the street and you're facing the building, there are 3 little windows, if you will, like 1, 2, 3. One is the little patio area, and then the 2 loading docks, which are very close to each other, as you can see right here. That could be a performance opportunity, right? It's a natural stage. It's elevated, it's enclosed, you know. And so something really cool could happen there where maybe all 3 spaces are activated at the same time, or maybe it's one performance and then you shut the door and then the next scene over here and the next scene over here. And so you standing over here watching the show, you don't have to move to experience it all. You can see perfectly from any space that you're standing in here facing the building. So that's a great opportunity. Here's a better view of that there. So here's the first loading dock, the second loading dock, and then that little patio area right there. The next property is San Diego Custom Studios and Fix Your Face. And so in here you have these wonderful cobblers. So they take apart like high-end tennis shoes, and then they redesign them and take them apart and put other funky pieces onto them and then sew them back on and then resell them for thousands of dollars. So they do workshops like this in the community, and they teach people how to do that. And it's a rad space, really cool people. So this is the murals that you want to look out for. That's the property there. In the interior here, there would be right in the very, very back, and I know it's a GIF, I know it's moving a little too quickly, but at the very, very back of it, right there, of that space is a decent amount of space. I think it's probably best for an art installation, or like a full-scale art installation, for example. And when I say installation, for those of you who are performing artists, I mean like something that you would walk inside of, like walk into. However, in all of those types of opportunities where there is an art installation, an individual dancer could activate that space on the inside, for example, and engage with that. So there is performing arts opportunities there as well. This is the War House. It's a gym, and it's too packed in there and too much liability for us to activate the interior of the building. But the exterior of the building has this wonderful elevated, what do you call this? I don't know what this is called. I'm having a bad English day today. whatever this is called right here, like an elevated barandal or space. I don't know how you say it, but anyway, in this space right here, something could happen here. You can certainly have like, you know, if we lit you correctly, then you could have like, you know, like spoken word, or you can have a scene. I mean, it's a natural sort of Romeo and Juliet kind of moment here that you could have. Fashion Week San Diego is going to be working with us. They're going to create a full-scale fashion show, and this is probably the location that they're going to take over, where they come down, and then they come down this runway and then into the street. So visually, if you're standing on the ground, you know, if you're standing on the bottom here, you can look up and have a wonderful performing arts experience there. This is the building that's just touching that. So so that was the War House here. And this is the other building, which is called Stay Classy CrossFit. All of these have links, by the way. So if you go to the name of the location and you click it, you'll go to their website. So there are more photos on their website of the spaces and all of that to give you a sense. So Stay Classy CrossFit has this wonderful backyard space. Um, and right now, to me, it's looking like a great place for like the film festival folks to participate. So right now we have the Coronado Island Film Festival is going to be producing a series of animated film shorts. And also San Diego Filipino Cinema is going to be participating with some film shorts as well, some short films. So right now it's looking like this is going to be that space because they have this wonderful big wall that we can project onto with a drop cloth. And but I wouldn't deny anyone a performing arts opportunity here if it made sense, and maybe there's some sort of projected, backdrop of some kind. So that's an opportunity. And then the last stop here is the trolley stop and Little Miss Brewing. And so Little Miss Brewing it's a brewery. It will certainly be activated that night, and we feel like this is going to be the main place where you check in, you get your wristband, you pay whatever, all of that will probably happen starting there. And then the other location is the soap factory that I mentioned earlier. So I don't know that necessarily there's a performing arts space, but we would be open to it if it was like an individual, something kind of fun while you're checking in, something could happen there. And so just to run back here to this overview, this is where we're talking about right here. So that's the brewery. And there will be sort of a check-in area here, and there will be a second check-in area here. So you can come from either side of the festival. And the way that this is programmed is that all performing artists, all performances should be able to occur twice throughout the night. Okay, so if you perform at 6 o'clock, maybe we'll also ask you to perform at 8 o'clock or sometime later in the evening. The reason for that is because it's set up similar to Comic-Con, where you curate your own experience. So at any given hour, there will be several activations all happening at the same time. So over here, you might have, the opera performing, and then over here you'll have a spoken word experience, and over here you'll have the animated film shorts going. And then over there, you'll have, some kind of immersive art experience that happens every 15 minutes or something like that. And so if you really wanted to do this opera thing, but you wanted to do that other thing as well, you can just come back to the second showing and experience it then. And so each night, each hour, each half hour actually is going to be an opportunity to experience something new. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the open call itself. Okay, so I want to read to you what the whole curatorial team, both visual and performing arts professionals, got together and put this open call together. And I just want to share that, like I said, I've been a performer my whole life, and it's something that many of you also have tons and tons of experience doing. But part of the reason that I started this organization is and the professional development side of it is because often whatever degree you graduate in, whether it's film, theater, dance, visual arts, music, they don't often tell you how to make a living doing the thing that you love and how to have a business mind about your practice. And so it's really important because I've been on both sides of the coin. I've auditioned people and I have been auditioned. I have, reviewed thousands in my lifetime of applications. And there are certainly people that stand out from the crowd, right? There are people who are just super professional. They put all their, they answered all the questions. They did all of that. And for a curator, it tells you something about that person. It means this person is going to be really easy to work with. They're going to give me all my deliverables on time. I don't have to hound them to try to get the visual so that we can get the press release out. They're going to be responsive and communicative and easy to work with. So that's what that tells me. So whenever you see an open call, not just this one, but whenever you see an open call out in the world, take the time to really read what it says. Don't just sort of skim through it and find the bullet points and do that. And definitely don't do what some people have done, which is to just email me and say, hey, I really want to be part of your festival. Here's my website. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this information? Like, you want me to figure out what you can do? I can't do that. And no one's going to have time for that. So this is a little bit of tough love, but trust me that I'm doing it truly with love, like love for the arts community, because I want you to have more opportunities. So this is the project vision. Um, I read it earlier before, but what I want to focus on, and I think some people came in a little bit later, but we want this to be inclusive, diverse, and have multisensory art interventions ranging from video art to contemporary dance, live music, theater, puppetry, spoken word, short film screenings, full-scale art installations, and more. And this visual, performing, and culinary art experiences of the festival will be, so these are the bullet points. This is what matters to us. It matters that this festival as a whole, not necessarily your individual proposal, but as a whole, this festival will be authentically San Diego and Tijuana. We're not commissioning artists from New York to come fly here and be a part of this. This is authentically San Diego and Tijuana creatives. It will engage and include the Logan Heights community. So we don't want to be so highbrow, for example, that we're not paying attention to who our audience is. And that doesn't mean that you can't have highbrow work, but I want it to also speak to the community that it's in, or at least acknowledge where we are. We wanted to inspire conversations about innovation and design within the arts. And so in that sense, you know, because one of our strategic partners is World Design Capital, we absolutely, if there is an opportunity for you to think about design or for us to consider design in the way that you produce this, please do so. Not every creative is going to have the ability to do that simply because it doesn't make sense for their craft. But if it is an opportunity, please consider it. And it's going to bring people together in meaningful ways. And I say that because Vanguard culture is known for creating experiences that are meaningful, right? We don't put just art on walls. We really don't do that. We always try to create an experience that feels unique, intimate, profound, that forces you to engage with a stranger in a meaningful way, or to experience something that you've never experienced before. And so that's what I love about the type of programming that we do, is that we're able to bring together folks from every background, right? From spoken word, for example, we've put together events where we have like a spoken word artist, a visual artist, a scientist, and a chef. And then everyone has to respond to climate change, for example, using their craft. And so in the room, you have an audience that was here for the science, a group that was here for the spoken word, another group that was here for the food, and another group that was here for the visual art. And all those people are in the same room together. So all of a sudden, you have, you know, the culinary folks going, I didn't know I like spoken word. That's awesome. Yeah, we should do more of that, right? So you're introducing people to new genres that they never would have sought out on their own. This is a little bit about our organization, Vanguard Culture. I've told you about that before, but I welcome you to visit who our board of directors and advisory board are. Sign up to our arts magazine, sign up to our professional development programs if it's something that you need. So please research that there. We're going to skip through the visual arts component of it because this is a workshop focused on performing arts. So this is what we're looking for. We're looking for up to 6 performers, individual performers, or 6 performing arts groups to submit existing or new performance pieces that, 1, are unique, innovative, inspiring, or otherwise responsive to the changes and challenges of our contemporary world. So when you're talking about the theme and the content of what you're submitting, we want it to be meaningful. We want it to be thoughtful and to consider the world that we're living in today and how that affects us. The second thing is that it would resonate with the binational character of our region, right? And so all of these are they're not all inclusive. You don't have to hit every single one of these. You just have to hit any of these, right, in your proposal. So it should either, you know, do line 1 or resonate with the binational character of our region, or it should engage with the local communities of San Diego or Tijuana. It should be only up to 30 minutes in length and should be able to be performed at least twice throughout the evening. And I mentioned that people, because it's a curate your own experience type of festival, people will have should have at least 2 opportunities to see your work. And it should be flexible enough that it can be performed in both indoor and outdoor spaces, ranging from 10 by 10 feet to 20 by 20 foot footprint. And some people may have way larger footprint needs, but that is an opportunity. Okay, that is something that you can definitely, because we just acquired all this new space and the property adjacent, so that we actually have a lot more space than that. But it should be flexible enough that it can be performed indoor and outdoor. And then lastly, we are seeking, there will be certainly opportunities for it to be very performative and, just straight up, here I am, proscenium style stage, that kind of thing. But to the extent possible, if there is anything in your wheelhouse that can be expressed as audience interactive, immersive, participatory, or site specific or site responsive, we're highly encouraging that. All right, and so this is what we're looking for. Please submit the following. There will be the compensation will range between $500 and $3,000 depending on what you're submitting, right? Depending on the scope of work. So we're asking for these things, and these things are all inclusive. We do want all these things. Don't just give us one of these things. Don't just send me one photo. Like, put a cover page with your name, your email, your phone number, your website, and a primary point of contact. You would be surprised how many proposals I've reviewed that had no contact information on it. You'd be surprised. I mean, I worked for the Airport Authority. In that scope, I curated 80 exhibitions, and I also curated their performing arts program at the airport. And often you'd have this like incredible artist whose output was beautiful and wonderful, but they couldn't get us their artist statement in time, or weren't able to get us the visuals in time, or simply, or we couldn't even select them or find them because none of their contact information was there. So don't skip that part. The bullet points are here for a reason. We want up to 1-page description of your vision for the project and any specific technical details that we should be aware of. So we're looking for you to tell. I don't want to know who the message should not be, I'm a performing artist and this is the kind of stuff that I do. That's not the message. The message is, for your project, I would like to engage these types of performances because it's meaningful to this community in this way, or because I think that it's so important to talk about climate change. It's one of the most important things that we should be discussing today. And this piece is about that. And it would be perfect for your festival, right? I want something very specific that tells me exactly what you're going to be performing, exactly what your needs are, AV needs, whatever those are, space needs, all of those things. And, be thoughtful and be clear about exactly what it is that you're proposing. The third thing is a detailed budget outline. We're asking for a budget. We want to know where you're going to spend your money. We want to know where the money's going to go, right? We're a very small nonprofit organization. We're a very, very resourceful group, but we absolutely would much rather pay more artists than less, right? So if you're an individual artist and you're asking for $3,000, we probably can't afford you, right? We're just going to do our best to get as many artists here as possible. And clearly, if we're paying, if you're an orchestra or something like that, $3,000 makes a lot of sense, right? Of course. So just be thinking about that in the way that you propose your budget. We're looking for, if you have existing work, we're looking for 3 to 4 videos or images of the work that we can review. If the work does not exist yet, then we're looking for 3 to 4 videos or images of any past work that is similar in scope or concept. We just want to understand what's the quality level of the work that you do, right? So if it doesn't exist yet, we want to know that you know how to pull off a great show or a great performance. If you do submit images, we ask for a numbered image list, so with information. So like if you submit an image, and we can't really tell what it is or what it's about, just submit a little list. Like image number 1 is us performing at the, I don't know what, with this, us performing at the San Diego Symphony with this incredible musician, for example, right? And please don't submit images that are sideways. Please do the work, move it straight. It makes everybody's life easier. And these are best practice tips for us, but for every proposal that you'll ever submit. Make sure that the images are clear, crisp, that we can see the work. And again, you'd be surprised how many people just don't do that. They submit blurry images, or they're very dark, or we can't really tell what we're looking at. So please help us in that. Any video should be submitted via links to a video hosting platform such as YouTube or Vimeo, or even a drive, like a Google Drive would be fine. High-res images should be shared via a link, a content storage platform such as Dropbox or Google Drive. And we do include a diversity and inclusivity statement here, and I'm going to read it to you, and we absolutely mean every word that we say here. Vanguard Culture is committed to elevating the voices of San Diego's diverse body of creative professionals and providing a safe space for artists of color and other marginalized groups to create, innovate, and inspire. Inclusivity is how we live our commitment to fairness and diversity, and we celebrate the visible and invisible qualities that make each person unique. Our goal is to highlight the diversity and virtuosity of San Diego and Tijuana's creative workforce. To that extent, we will happily make accommodations for anyone to participate, regardless of gender, age, race, ethnicity, national origin, sexual orientation or identity, physical ability, education, or any other bias. So if you think that you can't participate here because you're in a wheelchair, because you can't, reach certain things, we will accommodate and turn everything upside down to make sure that you can participate if the project is thoughtful and meaningful and makes sense for this event. So with that, I'm going to leave the last 10 minutes for questions, and I'll stop sharing here now. Okay. Does anyone have any questions, thoughts, suggestions? You can just unmute yourself here. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Suzanne. We already met, of course. So I don't want to spoil our application, but Tom Hain and I are definitely thinking about kind of doing a combination of Shakespeare Society member monologues and sonnets in conjunction with artwork. But of course, we don't know what the artwork will be. But I love the collaborative aspect of that. And he wants to save his 30-minute Romeo and Juliet for the 2024 festival, should we be so fortunate as to be able to participate. So I just wanted to share that with you at the moment.
Yeah, I think that all performers should expect that we're gonna, hopefully our goal is to place you near a work of art, place you in some environment that is creative and artful. Until we see all of the visual art submittals, we really won't get a sense of, where we can place you. But that's the flexibility part, is that whatever you submit, you should be open to the idea that you could be placed near a visual art piece or inside of a visual arts installation, if that's open, if that's something that you're open to. So the key here is to be very flexible.
Absolutely, that's what we want. I think that's the best choice for us for this first go at it. Sorry, I have a bit of laryngitis.
Oh, okay. Tea time.
Yeah, exactly. I've been pounding it. Anyway, aside from that, I'm just curious, will John Malashok actually be having his group perform?
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Yeah. And Rosenbach as well, I believe. Yeah.
Right. Great.
So this
quiet
so this
now.
call. Sure. So this call is primarily for individual artists, but we are working with several performing arts groups and visual arts groups that are going to be creating their own installations in addition to this open call. So this is mostly for the individual groups and artists, but it gives you the same overview that we would give to the larger groups anyway. So, does anyone else have any other questions or thoughts or anything that you want to clarify? Happy to do that now. Okay, and if not, this meeting has been recorded, so we're going to go ahead and share it on our YouTube page. So follow us on our YouTube page, and Juliana can put that in the chat. And you should receive that once you follow us. You'll receive the notification once it's up, and then we are very, very, very available to you for any questions. And I'm going to share on the open call the contact information here. So for any additional questions, please contact Tatiana Sizonenko. This is her email address, or myself at opportunities@vanguardculture.com. And to submit your application, you're submitting it to envision@vanguardculture.com no later than 5 p.m. on March 1st for consideration. Envision@vanguardculture.com is Juliana, so she'll be receiving your applications. But if you have questions, specific questions about your proposal, these are the two folks that you can reach out to. Okay. All right.
Suzanne,
Last chance for question. Yes, go ahead.
are there other organizations which are already committed to performing that
Yeah.
you can share?
Yeah. So performance. So we've been working with the San Diego Opera for a while now, and they're absolutely interested. In fact, their scene shop is on that corridor that we're going to be engaging with. So for sure that they're very, very interested. We secured Fashion Week San Diego, so they're going to be producing a full-scale fashion show there. And then for performing arts groups right now, that's all I have. I have the film community that's participating, which is Coronado Island Film Festival and Filipino cinema, San Diego Filipino cinema. Blanca, you have a question?
Yes, hi. So just to clarify, for example, if I submitted a proposal featuring my band, could it also integrate visual art and other forms of art within that performing arts installation?
Yes, 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 all the way. That's what we want. We want to have video art, visual art, moving arts, film, theater, dance, visual arts, music, all of them to be intersecting with one another. And so that's the job that we're going to be doing when you don't propose it in that way. We're going to be doing that work to try to merge all of those experiences into one. But if you are already proposing something that is inclusive of all of that, that's fantastic. All the way.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, we just have a couple minutes left for questions. Please go ahead and just unmute yourself. Okay.
Hi, I was curious about budget proposal. I am able to create work that can span a variety of the budgets. So I was curious if you'd rather shoot for the middle or give options of budgets as far as here's my lowest scale up to what I could do with a higher scale.
Yeah.
I also am including cross-disciplinary art, so I would be curious to know how you felt about the budgeting on that.
Yeah. So we have two separate budgets, one for the visual artists and one for the performing artists, but we're all going through the applications together, the two groups, the visual and performing arts curators. So I absolutely think that we can pull from both budgets to support something like that, similar to what Blanca is doing. You know, I think generally in best practices, you absolutely want to submit a range. Like if you have options of something, you're like, this is my, you know, maybe just two options. Like this is a, you know, lower cost, easier to package kind of thing. And then if you want to go big, we can go big. But if you're going to go big, make sure that you're giving us examples of something that you've done in the similar scope, right? We don't want to be the test case for a major thing that you've never done before. So make sure that if you are submitting something that you're like, okay, this is not exactly the same project, but it'll be similar in scope. This is a full-scale art installation. I worked with engineers to make sure that it doesn't fall apart on us. You know, give us an idea of the fact that you know how to do that, right? In whatever option you're offering. that make sense?
Thank you very much. Very helpful.
Sure. Any other questions? You can just unmute yourself. Okay. Okay, so any follow-up questions, please submit to the 2 emails that are on the open call. All of the links to everything that you saw today are here on the chat, so you can pull those from there. Please follow us on YouTube where this will be submitted, and the visual arts component will also video, which is next at noon, will also be uploaded there. Okay, everybody? Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you all in the room, and I look forward to working with you, I hope. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Susanna.
Bye.